Throughout the history of organized crime, some gangsters have managed to form large organizations and build a strong membership base. These gangsters, with their reliable help, have managed to dominate the underworld and control a number of illegal activities. In this context, an important question is, which of these gangsters had the most members in his criminal organization? In this video, we will examine the 10 gangsters with the highest number of members in their criminal organizations, and take a look at how they've managed to build and control their large organizations. Number 10. Frank Lucas. Frank Lucas, a legendary gangster of the 1970s, started his criminal organization in the bustling city of Harlem. With a shrewd mind and a ruthless demeanor, Lucas carefully recruited members from his family, eventually building an army of over 100 trusted soldiers. These men became known as the Country Boys and were fiercely loyal to Lucas, following his every command. But the strength of the organization was not just in their business acumen, they were also fiercely protective of each other, taking on anyone who dared to threaten their family. Frank Lucas knew that he could rely on his team to have his back, no matter what. Number 9. Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco was a force to be reckoned with, and she knew what the key to success in the criminal underworld was in the strength of her team. She carefully selected each member of her organization, recruiting only the most skilled and loyal soldiers to join her ranks. Her team grew to over 300 members, all of whom were fiercely dedicated to her and her goals. Blanco became known for her brutal tactics and her ability to intimidate anyone who dared to cross her. She was involved in a wide range of criminal activities. But despite her fearsome reputation, Blanco was also fiercely loyal to her team. She provided them with the resources and support they needed to succeed, and she never hesitated to defend them against anyone who dared to threaten their organization. Number 8. John Gotti. John Gotti was a legendary mobster who knew that building a successful criminal organization was all about loyalty and trust. He carefully selected only the best and most capable soldiers for his team, and his organization eventually grew to an impressive 700 members. Many of these members were of Italian origin and held the highest ranks within the organization. Gotti was revered and respected by his team, who saw him as a father figure. They were committed to going to the death for him, and he was equally committed to ensuring their success and safety. Gotti's criminal history was marked by a range of illegal activities, including extortion, racketeering, and murder. But even in the midst of his criminal exploits, he never lost sight of the importance of building a loyal and dedicated team. In the end, Gotti's criminal activities caught up with him, and he was arrested and imprisoned. But his legacy lived on, a testament to the power of strong friendship and the bonds of loyalty and respect. Number 7. Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo. Miguel Ángel Félix Gallardo, the boss of the Guadalajara cartel, built a powerful criminal organization with a team of 1,000 members, most of whom were men from his hometown of Guadalajara. With this formidable team, Félix Gallardo became one of the most powerful bosses in Mexico, dominating the drug trade and other illegal activities. Félix Gallardo was known for his shrewd business sense and his ability to intimidate anyone who dared cross him. But despite his fearsome reputation, Félix Gallardo was also fiercely protective of his team. He provided them with the necessary resources because he knew that if he did not pay the members, it was the end of him. Number 6. Lucky Luciano. Lucky Luciano, also known as the father of organized crime, was a mastermind at building and controlling a criminal organization of 1,000 members. He was known for his sharp mind and strategic thinking, carefully selecting each member of his team based on their skills and loyalty. Most of his members were from New York City, and he built a formidable team that was feared and respected throughout the criminal underworld. Luciano's criminal activities were vast and included bootlegging, gambling, and racketeering. He was also known for his brutal tactics, and those who crossed him were met with swift and ruthless consequences. One of Luciano's unique features was his ability to maintain order within his organization. He implemented a strict code of conduct that all members were required to follow, and those who did not were met with punishment. His team was bound together by loyalty and faith to him, and he was known to protect them at all costs. Number 5. Al Capone. Al Capone, the notorious gangster, was a leader with an iron fist and was merciless to his opponents and traitors in his team. He was feared and respected throughout the criminal underworld, and his organization was made up of the best, the most brutal and cunning criminals that American history has ever seen. Most of his members were from Chicago, where Capone had grown up. Capone's 1,500-member strong organization was the epitome of power and dominance. They were the beasts of crime, feared by all who dared to cross their path. Their brutality was unmatched, and they were notorious for their violent acts and ruthless approach to criminal activity. Under Capone's leadership, his team became the most powerful criminal organization in the United States. They controlled the bootlegging trade, ran illegal gambling operations, and were involved in numerous other criminal activities. Capone's organization was an empire, and he ruled it with an iron fist. Number 4. Gilberto Rodriguez Orejuela. Gilberto Rodriguez Orejuela was a mastermind of organized crime who built one of the most powerful criminal organizations. At the peak of his power, he had a team of 1,500 members in his Cali cartel, a formidable force that controlled the Colombian underworld. Rodriguez Orejuela was Pablo Escobar's biggest rival, and their bitter feud became legendary in the annals of organized crime. Most of the members of Rodriguez Orejuela's cartel were infamous sicarios, the most feared assassins that Colombia had ever seen. They swore to protect their patron at every step, and they were renowned for their brutal tactics and their unflinching loyalty. Their reputation for violence was legendary, and they were feared and respected by their rivals and enemies alike. Rodriguez Orejuela was a master of strategy and innovation, always seeking new ways to expand his empire and stay ahead of his rivals. Number 3. Amado Carrillo Fuentes. Amado Carrillo Fuentes, known as the Lord of the Skies, was a legendary figure in the world of organized crime. He was one of the most powerful drug lords in history, and his vast criminal empire was built on the back of a massive drug smuggling operation. Fuentes was known for his love of luxury and his extravagant lifestyle. He did not suffer from the lack of private planes. In fact, he owned over 1,000 planes that he used to transport drugs and weapons across borders undetected. His fleet of planes was the envy of the criminal underworld, and he was always looking for ways to expand his operation and increase his wealth and power. But Fuentes' success was not just down to his fleet of planes. He also had a team of over 2,000 members on the ground and in the air, who were dedicated to the cause and willing to do whatever it took to protect their leader and their organization. The Juarez cartel, which Fuentes led, was a smuggling superpower. They controlled the drug trade in Mexico and beyond, and their influence reached into the highest levels of government and law enforcement. Fuentes' power and influence were unmatched, and he was feared and respected by his rivals and enemies alike. Number 2. Pablo Escobar. Don Pablo was not just a drug lord. He was a man who commanded the loyalty and love of over 10,000 members of his Medellin cartel, an organization that controlled the drug trade in Colombia and beyond. But what set Pablo apart from other leaders was his connection with the people. He was a man who was close to everyone, especially the poor. He built houses, hospitals, schools, sports fields, and anything else that the people needed. And in return, he won the hearts of many Colombians who saw him as a Robin Hood figure. Pablo's connection with the people was not just for show. He used his popularity to recruit the best men for his criminal activities, building a team of loyal soldiers who would do anything for him. And they respected him not just as a boss, but as a friend and a leader who had their best interests at heart. But when Pablo was killed in 1993, the Medellin cartel was extinguished in a very short time. It was not the cartel that was powerful. It was the man who created it. Number 1. El Chapo. El Chapo means shorty. He may be short in stature, but he was a giant in the world of organized crime. His Sinaloa cartel was one of the most powerful criminal organizations in history, and at its peak, it had over 150,000 members. This is a shocking figure in the history of organized crime that there were 150,000 members in just one criminal organization, with a single command that was under the command of El Chapo. El Chapo was a man who demanded respect and loyalty from his members, and he got it. He was feared and respected in equal measure, and his word was law. He built a criminal empire that stretched across Mexico and beyond. Today, the Sinaloa cartel is still a major force in the world of organized crime. The cartel has less than 50,000 members, divided into two factions under the command of El Chapo's sons, known as El Chapitos, and one under the command of Ismael Zambada Garcia, aka El Mayo. But even with its reduced numbers, the Sinaloa cartel remains a major player in the world of crime, and its legacy as one of the most powerful criminal organizations in history lives on. El Chapo may be behind bars now, but his name will always be synonymous with power of the criminal underworld. These were the gangsters with their large networks of loyal members, able to control and profit from the underworld. They were ruthless and cunning, always pushing the boundaries of what was possible, and always striving for more until they sank.